very good at photography, but you can level his photography skills through the game. And he will take pictures without you knowing. So this is like a journal of at the end of the day for you. It is your own photos, by the way, and no one else's. So to further emphasize on prompter skill and hobby, this is a scene that you get when you get the car for the first time after repair. A group photo, of course. And when you get into the car, the world just becomes so much bigger. We had media people come in to play Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, and they were worried about the driving aspect of the game because, you know, you're just stuck on the road and all that. But they found it to be excellent. And the reason is because we have researched into the joys of driving and the joys of being in a car while in a drive into the game. So you are actually able to freely move the camera, for example. And the quest marker asked me to drive to the right. Screw that, I'm going to drive on the left. So I'm going to drive off-road. At the end here, you will see an optional dungeon. You don't have to go there, but you can go there. You can go there adventure. So this is a Southeast Asian resort-inspired place called Golden Key. We use leading-edge technology to ensure that your adventure, that the living, breathing world looks beautiful 24/7, be it in the evening or even at night. You would want to stay one night at least in that resort. Okay, so I'm the lead game designer for the town team, so I would like to present another town, and we have talked about it before, but we haven't shown it in great length. So here is Orticia. To say that it's inspired by Venice, of course, and this particular city is full of culture, and you can really interact with the townfolk like that, for example. And what's different compared to Venice is that this particular city has vertical volume, so you can have some fantastical experiences like this one, right? Traveling on top of the city in a gondola. And you can have your portrait drawn as well. And what is on that paper is very interesting. Play the game to find out. And speaking of art, we have this as well. Okay, that's all what I'm going to say. And Orticia looks great at night. So, I mean, it's romantic, and there are some parts of the city that you can only access by gondola. Again, the game cycle works exactly the same as outside. You have a diner, light area, and then you can find out more about quests and such. And it's just beautiful. And at the end of this particular place, there's a Coliseum. I will not talk about the Coliseum. You will find out in the later broadcast, maybe sometime soon. Okay. So when you're not busy exploring towns, you're not busy enjoying the view, you fight enemies. So now I will talk about the combat system, which is excellent as well.
And sometimes they throw in another $10 or something.
Oh, like a gym, I think?
Yeah, they're like...
Now the beauty of the combat system is, as I mentioned earlier, I pass you the controller, you just grasp the basic controls at the right side, and that's it. You can pull off a lot of the stunts that you saw in the trailer, and you can pull off all the stunts that you see now, from now on. So our intention was to make sure that whatever you do on the controller transitions immediately on the screen. So I think they've created a very intuitive system where with very simple controls, you can pull off a lot of stunts like this, and I can tell you it is very, very satisfying. And it is a fluid system in this open world area, so it's very impressive. That was very satisfying, by the way. So, high accessibility. People often mistake high accessibility with mindless controls, button mashing, right? So I will show you now why that is not the case in Final Fantasy 15. So I'm button mashing right now, so I'm just pressing the enter button the whole time. It's very ineffective because I take too much time on this enemy while fighting bullets from other enemies as well. I can widen my attacks with just a bit more input, so I can do this, and also this. So 3 different attacks with the same weapon, just different input a bit. And one more thing that really extends the combat system very well is our unique warp system. The warp system opens the gates to a lot of strategy. For example, lock on an enemy and warp. Simple. You're in a pinch, no problem. Walk to that point, and then walk to an enemy that's hiding behind the wall because he deserves it. So, high accessibility, yet total control of what you can do. So that is very, very important to us. And because of that, the strategies open up a whole lot more. And remember, you do not fight alone, you fight with your buddies as well. Here's a tip. So try to aim for the weak spot of the enemy, of course. So usually the weak spot is at the back. So what happens is, of course, if you attack the back of an enemy, you will deal more damage. However, if a friend is near you, you will perform one of the many joint attacks, like this one. So what I love to do usually is, I walk away from the enemy, walk back to the enemy at the back, and then do initiate a joint attack like that. That is sexy. And you can also explicitly call your buddy commands. So like this, Ignis performs mark that plants warp points on every enemy, and not just walks of all those enemies. And you can add another attack, just like that. Right? So very satisfying moves. And you have super control, you have total control, and you have buddies fighting alongside you. Use all this in combination to perform the most effective and coolest attack. Now the theme of Final Fantasy is magic, of course, and we have something very unique here in Final Fantasy 15. For example, scattered around the world are energy deposits. So here we have the ice elemental energy deposit. So we're now going to go to get the lightning one. When you absorb all of this, you can mix and match these elements in a system called magic synthesis. And this is not a gambling system. You do not want to pray for high level magic. You want to look at this part of the strategy as well. So you will know the result right here. The cool thing is, apart from the elements, you can also combine items as well. So if I were to put 50 fire and 1 potion, it will create a spell that not only casts a high level fire magic, but also heals yourself with 1 cast. So there are 200 over combinations in the game. A lot of them awesome, some of them weird, but you're gonna have a blast with the system. So I'm going to conclude a lot of the things that I said with this mid boss. This is the Bloodborne. Very nice to look at, muscles and all, but very unpredictable. It's like a raging bull. But no worries, because you have that magic that you created just now. So, cast fire, heal myself. See that? And the fire magic affects the environment as well. And it has already roasted the front half of the Bloodborne. Like that. And all the magic is like that. And do not shy away from asking from your buddy's help. So, for example, I'm now going to call Campus by Guardian. So I'm going to move away and call that. So what he does is he creates a whirlwind that sucks the enemies into place, and then after that you get a yellow attack as well. And remember the warp, right? So warping is very, very important in this game. So let's say if you get whacked by this guy, you can just warp out, and then you walk back to the tower to heal your HP and your MP as well. And do not forget the weak point of the enemy. So it's at the back. So when you aim the back, then it initiates more combination attacks and joint attacks as well. Like I said, there are many joint attacks.